And it's Good News with Dick Baumbach. I'm Jeff Heiser, and I'm here with Dick Baumbach. And Mr. Baumbach told us last week he was going to try something new. And boy, did he try something new. He's put this thing out here, and we're going to try it. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm not going to tell you what it is. Are you, Mr. Baumbach?
No, we'll just see if the audience picks it up.
I think we should just do it and see if they pick it up. So here's the first one. School bus driver.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me think about this. No. Actually, this is a good news story. This is about a school bus driver who calmly rescued 20 children from a flaming school bus.
I saw this. This.
College Park, Maryland.
Yes.
Her name is Renita Smith, and she was driving the school bus, and a tire caught fire and started filling up the bus. She calmly took every child off with no problem, told them not to panic, and she is being praised as a hero. And all she says is, "Oh, it's part of my job."
Yeah, the rest of it, she goes in and she says, "Well, my mama instincts kicked in." It was like,
yeah,
mama
exactly.
Instincts. It was like, wow, you got 40 kids. It's amazing.
Wow.
Did you see the picture of that bus? I mean, that bus was completely destroyed with flames. It completely burned down. I mean, I don't know how she got all those kids out as safely as she did. It is an amazing story. And she's like, yeah, it's just, any mama would do that. It's like, wow.
Exactly. Right.
Wow. What a story.
Yeah.
Next story. Palestinians and Israelis.
Okay, now this one here is another one of those really positive stories that we haven't heard about on the regular media. And this happened last month. A group of Israelis and Palestinians were on the opposite sides of a table, and they were playing backgammon together, and they said, "This is the way it should be. We don't have any borders here. We just want to be with each other and love each other."
That's an amazing story.
And you didn't hear it.
No, you don't hear that. I've got to ask you a question about this. So, do you think that with the change that will come in the near future, in November timeframe area, do you think the news will change, or do you think we have entered an era now of just negative news constant? I mean, you look back to people like Walter Cronkite, people that back in your career that always seem to bring you the news, and now it's just a barrage of this bad stuff always and always. Do you think it will change, or do you think that's here to stay with us?
Well, see, I think that it's sort of like I think it's going to change because we both know, we've chatted about this privately, that the world is over it. But again, it's one of those situations. If we remember Kodak and we remember newspapers, they were like, "Oh, we don't have to change. We'll be around forever." That's not true anymore.
They're gone.
The same thing is here. TNR is offering people just this segment saying, "Hey, here's something positive." And, the media is like, "Well, we can keep doing this way." And I think eventually the media is going to say, "Hey, how come we've lost so many people?
Yeah.
Gee, maybe we better do something."
It's interesting that you said that about the newspapers, because I was just reading yesterday about a newspaper in Dallas. It's one of the main newspapers in Dallas. And they stepped out and they endorsed an individual that's not very popular in Dallas, let alone other areas. And because of it, they have lost so many subscribers that they have had to discount their newspaper now to such a degree, it's almost giving away the newspaper, and they can't even do that because of it.
Yeah.
And it's like what you said, people are so over it and so tired of hearing these things that there's too many other outlets. I mean, there's too much other ways of getting good news, like here, or your information that you need. It's just too much.
See, exactly right. And the thing is, because we've now gone to a digital world, the people that sit on the networks and say, well, we can tell everybody, we can control it. That's not true.
It's not true. All you have to do is look at what happened in Egypt and in several other areas of the world. Social media changed those countries, and the news tried to like guide you through it. There was no guiding you through it. They wound up going to the social media, the people on the ground that were showing the news. This is the news. This is what's happening, which was
exactly right.
Was drastically different from what was being reported. But that reminded me of this Palestinians and the Israelis. We don't know really what's going on. We just know what's being reported in the news. And things like this, things like this, you miss, and you think, oh my gosh, the world is coming to an end. And here you got a bunch of people playing backgammon on different sides. It really makes you wonder what really is going on in this world. So the next one, and I hope people have caught on to what's going on with your surprise. All I'll say is Airbnb.
Okay, Airbnb. All right. What this is this is actually a service that people can rent their homes for vacationers, etc. Well, this up in the California, Wrightwood, California area where there was the Blue Cut wildfire, a couple, they had rented their home through Airbnb, and then when the fire started coming, they literally just let other Airbnb people come in and stay there for free.
Oh, wow.
Well, lo and behold, the fire comes and consumes their house, and people have taken these people in for the last 3 weeks for free until they can get back on their feet. And Patrick and Loretta said they can't believe that people will just reach out and do it. And somebody said, well, you are the ones that started this idea of helping others.
Right. Do you recall back to when Katrina came through in New Orleans, what took place here in Florida and in Georgia and in Alabama and in Mississippi and in the Carolinas? How many families opened up their homes to those people and said, come stay with us?
Yeah.
There's good people in this world.
Well, the thing is, I remember that so vividly because we came up with a program for Worldwide Marriage Encounter that we are involved with that to help marriage encounter couples and families in the Katrina area. And we had 32 motorhomes donated from around the country to help these people.
Wow. That's amazing. 32 motorhomes. That's not easy to do.
But the thing is, again, it was, people were just being good people.
Good people, yeah. It just hit me, Dick. The world is full with bad news, but it's what gets reported out of the bad news, because it starts with bad news, but it seems like it always ends up with something good that has come out of it, like the fire and these people and Katrina and the people, with the motorhomes and, just stories after stories after stories that you've brought. It always started with something that was kind of like, oh boy, that you could have reported really bad stuff on that, right? And just left the good stuff out. But it's the good news.
Exactly right, Jeff. Exactly.
All right, so this last one, I have a feeling that I know this one. I think we may have even talked about this in the past, but I'm just going to go with it. 89-year-old.
Well, you did, and it was, of shows that we were talking about. You brought it up about this gentleman, and his name is Fidencio Sanchez, and he's from Little Village District of Chicago, and 89 years old. He was pushing his food cart through, and somebody saw him, and they saw he looked so exhausted and everything, and they snapped a picture of him, and come to find out that his daughter, which was supporting he and his wife, had passed away.
Oh, gosh.
And so he had, and his wife got ill, so he had to keep doing this. Well, this gentleman named Joel Cervantes decided to start a GoFundMe page, and as you mentioned, it is now up to $412,000.
Wow, that's my ice cream man.
Yes.
That's
for
who
the
that
ice
is.
cream man.
Yes.
And it's the paletas. That's their Spanish ice cream. But Mr. Sanchez says, I was just trying to help my wife, and
wow. That's a really good feel good story. I remember seeing it on seeing the whole thing done on him, and he's such a humble man. And all he does is push this ice cream cart, all day long. And he doesn't even, he's not, hailing people to come over and buy his ice cream. He's just walking along, clicking his bell, and people are buying ice cream from him. And he's done it. Did it say how long he's done it for? I thought they said 40 years or something like that.
He's done it for 47 years.
That's amazing. Could you imagine pushing an ice cream cart for 47 years?
No.
No, there's no way I could. But he was so dedicated to his family, in making a living for his family. That's what he did. It's an amazing story.
Now, we'll see if everybody figured out what we were doing, but we'll go back to the traditional way with our next show, which you'll have the whole headline.
Well, I really liked it this way. I mean, it kept people guessing, but, we'll have to think about it. What do you have for us next week? Anything good?
We have more good news stories, but they're so top secret, I can't even tell you.
Well, that's a Dick Baumbach tradition. And
maybe you never know what that good news might be.
That's right. Until next week, this is Jeff Heiser with Dick Baumbach and Good News.
Have a great, good week, Jeff.
Take care.